For the past 10 and a half years as the member for Barilaro, and over the past almost 5 years as the Deputy Premier, it's been a real honour to serve the people of the Barilaro electorate and the people of New South Wales. Most importantly, the people of regional and rural New South Wales, to be their voice. And I hope you can see that I fought along the way. Geez, over that time, we've enjoyed some tough days. Through the worst drought in regional rural New South Wales in recorded history, then the bushfires, floods, the mice plague, and then the global pandemic of COVID hitting not only the regions, but our state, the nation and the globe. It's been a tough run, and being tasked by the Premier of the day that I take on the role in areas of like disaster recovery, the Minister responsible. And I've spent days in people's kitchens with people that have lost their homes, people that are enduring the drought. And I hope in that time you could see that not only did I shed tears with you, but I actually tried hard to make sure that we together were able to find hope and light for this state. 10.5 years is a long time in politics. 5 years is a very long time as a leader of a political party, as a leader that takes on the role as Deputy Premier. And as the role in Deputy Premier, I've taken that seriously and I've given it everything I possibly could have. For all of you, you know I wear my heart on my sleeve. I fight each and every day for what I believe in, and I genuinely do it because I care about the role and the people of New South Wales, and it's been an absolute privilege. Along this journey, I've been able to serve under some incredible premiers, incredible colleagues that I call now friends, especially my grassroots members in the National Party, my parliamentary colleagues in the National Party, my parliamentary colleagues in the Liberal Party. I wish, of course, the Liberal Party in their deliberations about their next leader, and as we saw yesterday, no doubt, it looks like Dominic Perrottet, someone I call a friend, someone I know, that will take this state right now at a time that it needs strong leadership through the opening up, the end of the pandemic, the start of the recovery. And I genuinely believe in his role as Treasurer, he has all the skills and all the ability, and if endorsed as the leader of the Liberal Party, Premier of this state, he'll do a wonderful job. It has been an incredible journey, one that you can't just put in grabs or in words in front of a camera. But can I say I have enjoyed every single day of it. But it has taken a toll. It is tough on anybody in public life to continue in this role, especially under so much scrutiny, especially media scrutiny. And that's good. That's great for democracy. It's great for transparency. But it also means that for many of us, we do think about when we end our journey. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Many of you have been reporting my exit for a while. Seeing Andrew Constant yesterday announce that he'll exit state politics was, in one way, a moment that made me think about when was the right time. There is never a right time, but I know as the architect of the roadmap, and we get to open up on Monday, as someone that has delivered the roadmap not only just in 2020 but this year, I'm confident that this state now has bright days ahead of us, and it is the right time for the state, for me, for the Liberal Party and the National Party, a new freshness, a refresh of the government of the day. And I look forward from the sidelines to be cheering, and I'm confident that under Dominic Perrottet and whoever the National Party will elect as leader, we'll get there. You know, there will be lots of speculation about the leader of the National Party going forward. Can I say I've been serving with incredible people, that anyone could take up that mantle. Any of my colleagues have the ability and the strength and the courage to take up that mantle, and I do absolutely encourage that. Can I say that in public office everything's always laid out to bear, and in my life over this journey I've been quite honest with the media and the public about moments in my life, the good days and some of the tough days, and even my own personal experiences, and you know that in itself has shaped who I am as the style of leader that I am. But you know, even in these recent months and over the past 12 months especially, the very public defamation case that I have going at the moment, unbelievable, you know, that I have to defend myself from vile and racist attacks in a social setting, in a social media setting by individuals, and you know, $1 trillion company like Google allow that sort of vile racial attack on any individual, regardless of public figure or not, to remain, is something that I can't believe in 2021 still exists. As a young boy of migrant parents, I grew up I understood what racism was, called many of those names. I didn't think in 2021 that'll continue, and that in itself, can I say, was very difficult this year. And to be able to defend myself and continue with that case, I prefer to do it privately, not in the public eye. And that's been a big reason for today's announcement, along with the opportunity that has now opened, that maybe now is the refresh. Can I just say thank you to everybody, to my colleagues, to everybody that I've met on this journey. I've made some wonderful friends, and for that, I will always be indebted. I'm going to be a keen watcher of politics, but not a participant. I'll make this clear now, so I don't have to answer the question later. I have no intention and no will that I'll be running for Eden Monaro or for federal politics. I am leaving politics, and I'll look to a new career. I turn 50 in November, maybe a bit of a midlife crisis, but I'm definitely thinking about what's next. I'm going to take some time out, but I won't be running for federal politics. And to finish it off in my style, as I always do, one of the other reasons I'm leaving today is to watch Stuart Ayres gloat over Panthers winning the grand final yesterday. It was just too much to bear in the cabinet. So today I say farewell to the people of New South Wales. Say thank you for your support. Thank you for allowing me and giving me the privilege and the honour to serve as Deputy Premier, and to my colleague to serve as Leader of the National Party. Thank you very much. This is really difficult on not just the family but friends. You know, when you take, like, the defamation case itself drags in even some of my staff, you know, who have been supporting me, and some of my political opponents have decided to even try and play in this space, and I don't wish on them what I'm enduring. So I make no quip about that, and I'm just careful what I do say, because it's a live defamation case. But I've got to say, you know, my family, I couldn't have done this. They gave me the privilege of being able to get into politics, and without them I wouldn't have been able to achieve it. They've paid the ultimate sacrifice. They've worn the brunt of it, but to them I say thank you for giving me the opportunity. And you know, in that last 10 and a half years, last year was very tough when I lost Dad. Dad was a big part of me getting into politics, someone that was part of his community, and today it's almost time to say farewell properly in honour of Dad.
In this decision, and why didn't you want to stick around and work with potentially Dominic Perrottet as Premier?
I have to be honest, what occurred on Friday, it hasn't played any part in the decision that I've made. The reality, and many of you guys have been pushing me, and I've unfortunately not been able to be honest with you, but I've been thinking about this for a while. I had another date picked in mind, not too far off, but I just think with the opportunities that have now arisen, and it'd be unfair that at some point this week, under Dominic Perrottet as Premier, he'll be swearing in a new cabinet. It'd be just unfair and not right to go down to Government House, to get sworn in, and only weeks later to step aside. This state is in the midst of the pandemic, and yes, there's hope. But I can say it was a team effort throughout this period. Gladys has been absolutely at the forefront of that and led the charge. But the team behind it is still there. The team that includes so many ministers and public servants are there, ready for Monday's opening. And there's never a right or wrong time to leave politics, but I genuinely believe that now that the Premier's leaving and Andrew Constance has indicated his intent to leave, I genuinely think it's the right and proper thing to do, to be honest with people and not put my hand up.
People were pretty rocked though by the Premier's resignation. Did you not feel it was a no for today, or provide that any
Well, I'm glad you said I'm the steady hand. I'm sure that's been reported in the past. I'm not the steady hand, but look, it's true and not true. But look, I've spent the vast time as Deputy Premier with Gladys as her deputy, and I've served her. And you know, losing your partner is actually tough. But at the same time, you know, for the people in New South Wales, you've got to understand that the executive of the government is cabinet. The Treasurer plays an important role. Senior ministers play an important role. Senior public servants play an important role. And the idea that I leave somehow destabilises the government is not right. Can I say, yes, it's a tough time, but I think it's the right thing to do, to be honest with the public, that the fight's over. I've lost the fight, and it is time for me to go, and I think it is appropriate to be honest, and that's what I've done today.
Glenn made it clear that her resignation couldn't come at a worse time, in her view, for New South Wales because of the point at which we are in transitioning to a new COVID normal. There's still a lot to go in that space. We're a senior member of the Crisis Cabinet.
Yeah.
If Berejiklian thinks that it couldn't come at a worse time for her to go, why do you think that it comes at a good time for you to go?
James, let's be honest. The Premier of the day is the face of the government, steers the ship, holds the firm hand on the decisions and the direction, and she's done that, and she's done that well. And the outcry we've seen from the community is justified. To think that the Deputy Premier, in one way, is able to hang around and disrespect that he's been part of a team is wrong. I have played an important role. I'm proud of that as the architect of the roadmap. I'm proud of what I've achieved in 2020. I'm proud of what I've achieved in 2021 with the pandemic and been entrusted by many to get us out, and by the Premier. I mean, that's the ultimate trust from a Premier like Gladys to have given me the trust to do that. But to think that it's just me is wrong. I've worked with a team, a wonderful team of ministers and public servants to achieve everything, and I'm confident that now is the right time, that it doesn't destabilise and gives confidence to the people of New South Wales. I can give you confidence that things continue every day until there's a new Premier sworn, a new Deputy Premier sworn, a new Cabinet sworn. Don't think that this government isn't continuing as we speak.
That could cause a general election.
Well, again, the idea of losing seats has never actually ever been at the heart of when I think about by-elections. When I made the decisions about the Upper Hunter, it wasn't about would we go into minority government or not. It was about doing the right thing. You've got to be honest with yourself, and you've got to be honest with your community. They are best served by a candidate or a local member, or as from a ministerial perspective for the citizens of New South Wales, but someone that's still got the passion and the fight to keep going and the energy. And I just don't have the energy anymore. It's been a big 10 and a half years and a huge almost 5 years as Deputy Premier. And so being honest with people is the right thing, and we'll face the election and we'll be judged on what we've achieved and what we've done. And can I say, in the Monero, I am proud of what I've done, in excess of $300 million just going into school infrastructure. I'm proud of what we've achieved in changing communities for the better and for the future. I'm proud that I've got to meet so many wonderful volunteers and community groups in the Monero that, in my mind, I will continue to call friends. I've got to learn more about my region as the local member, and I know when they are asked to vote again in the future, they will consider the right person, as they've always done. And remember, I was a member that got elected with 700 votes in 2011, 1,200 votes in 2015, and only in the last election was there a significant swing that has taken my margin close to 12%. They get it right all the time. Never disrespect the punters or the voters, but they don't know what they're doing at a ballot box. They'll deal with the ballot of the day. Sorry, I'll go.
It's been a rocky road at times. Do you have any regrets?
Look, you always have regrets, but they're points in time that you'll just accept that are part of the learning, the strengthening of your character. And look, there's no question last year was a tough time. What was over policy, over koalas, ended up being a more difficult conversation, a difficult debate that got out of control. And one of my regrets is that we didn't steer that through in a different way. I ended up a month off, and that's been public and that's been well spoken about. But even the fallout I had with Andrew Constance, I rang him yesterday. I thought he showed courage to do the decision he made, to do it so far in advance of a reshuffle, making sure the next generation of MPs have an opportunity to take his spot as a minister. I think was courageous, and in one way, Andrew and I have shared some experiences. And what I said to him yesterday, we can be friends again, and I think that's important.
Is anyone else, apart from yourself, contributing to the cost of the Jordan Shanks case?
Can I just say, I'm here to talk about the people in New South Wales, and I'm exiting. And you ask a question about who's paying the bill. I can tell you I'm paying the bill. But even to ask that question today, I now realise why you've probably cemented why I'm leaving today.
A few more of your colleagues might think now is the time to leave state parliament, and if so, how many?
Look, I don't know. I don't think so. I think, others will make their own mind up. There's been speculation on others, but no, I haven't heard anything, and there shouldn't be speculation. I think people are excited about the new government that's just about to be formed, and many will stick around.
How did Dominic ongoing ICAC investigation. Are you required to give evidence? Is that the reason behind this?
First rule of Fight Club is not talk about Fight Club. Remember that from a great movie. The truth is this, firstly, if you are you've been subpoenaed or anything from the ICAC, you actually aren't allowed to talk about it. But more than that, I've learned in my time in politics, leave the ICAC stuff alone. It's an independent body that needs to make judgment on issues. And we saw on Friday what they have now publicly announced. It's been an outcry by the public. Let's allow those proceedings to go ahead, and you're not going to get any commentary from me about what the ICAC is, my position, or any other position of any other minister or member, or even what the Premier is facing. The reality is, I've made it an absolute number one rule never to talk about the ICAC.
How did Dominic Perrottet react to the news that you were leaving?
Look, Dom's a friend. It's rare you leave this building and call some of your colleagues friends. I can honestly tell you he tried hard to keep me to stay. He was always excited of the opportunity to have a Perrottet Barilaro government. He's been a great friend to the bush. He's travelled with me extensively into all corners of regional rule in New South Wales, and as Treasurer he has genuinely given me the tools, the resources to deliver for regional rule in New South Wales. That's why I say to the regions under Perrottet, I tell you what, you're not going to be left behind. Nats will hold him to account, no question. But look, Dom is a gentleman. Dom understands at times you've just got to make these decisions, and I today get to leave knowing that Dom Perrottet will be my mate.
Taylor ran for Monero, if Bronnie Taylor ran for Monero, would you be throwing your support behind her?
I'd always back Bronnie Taylor for the Monero. She's already the unofficial member for Monero. She lives in Nimrabel, and she's been the upper house member and a minister. Look, I'm not sure that she'll do that. I know there'll be speculation over the days ahead. I can assure you, I have over the 10 years looked at, nurtured others. Individuals in our community that possibly could represent the community, and we'll have more to say about who may be our candidate and replace that. But look, Bronnie's the minister, an important job. It'll be her call, but I don't think she'll do that.
As your next leadership, and who will be in a good team with Perrottet?
Mate, look, I could talk about every member of my team. All of them could lead this party into this next chapter and next journey. And it's not my job. We don't have factions in the National Party. Well, we actually do. We have either the freshwater Nats or the saltwater Nats. That's the coastal Nats versus inland. We will give everyone an opportunity to put their hand forward. Look, there's been members that have been with the team for a long time that could put their hand up. My deputy, Paul Toole, of course, I've already heard that he's the front runner is picked by the media. The reality, all of them have the ability, and the party room on Wednesday will make that decision.
Would you expect there to be a number of people nominating there to be a vote? Mel Pavey saying she's going to throw a hat in the ring.
Well, look, we're a grassroots democratic party. There's nothing wrong with the ballot. This idea that having a ballot isn't smooth transition. It's at the respect of the debate and the respect of the ballot is what's important. And for me, that's all that matters. If there is more than one candidate that wants to put want to put their hand up for the leadership, that's actually a good thing for our party and for democracy. But at the same time, it doesn't mean instability in relation to a transition. So look, let's see what happens over the next few days.
That the Liberals don't is a slew of senior women who could step up. Sarah Mitchell's confirmed she'd like to run for deputy. Melinda Pavey is likely to run for the leadership. Would you like to see some more, the promotion of women in the National Party?
Well, one of my proudest achievements is on my watch. I promoted more women to ministry, to the Cabinet of New South Wales under my leadership. It's something I'm very proud of. In all the women in my party are in senior roles, be it a minister or a whip or parliamentary secretary positions. They've all had the opportunity under my leadership. Something I've, as a father of daughters, probably has made me realise that if you look at my whole career, from my chiefs of staff and to a lot of my staff, I've been surrounded by wonderful, strong women that have allowed me to be who I am. And I'd love to see that happen, but at the same time, one thing the National Party do really, really well, we pick the right candidate for the right time. We've proven as a party, not only do we have great women in the party, but we have great men.
And that's where we farewell viewers on the main ABC channel in a number of states and territories. If you want to continue watching this, you can do so on the ABC News channel.
jobs, Paralympic Association come up?
I loved hearing about the Paralympics rumour. Look, I will take some time. I have no job, so I can make it clear that I'm not going into any job. The timeline of that. I have spoken to a number of recruiters about what's out there. So, look, I'm comfortable with that. And I'm looking forward to see what is on in the next chapter. But you know what? We're opening pubs on Monday. Make sure everyone's double vaxxed for that. And we're in spring and we'll be in summer. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to have a think about what's next.
You said
that you can't comment on the evaluation, understandable, but can you think of people who might be suspicious about the timing of, resignation? Assurances that there's nothing, else going on, no other scandals about the break?
Well, again, if that was the case, I wouldn't be allowed to comment anyway. So, as I said earlier, I just don't make any comments around the ICAC. The weeks, the months ahead, let's see what occurs. And today I've actually decided to go on my accord. As I said earlier, I was thinking about leaving earlier, leaving at a time in the future. I think the events now give me an honest opportunity to do this in a transparent way. So that's what I have to say. I'm leaving today because of the very reasons that I've said earlier, that it's time, because of the 10.5 years, the defamation case definitely playing a big part of this. I don't know how many of you can endure what I've endured on online. I feel for young men and women, young boys and girls that get bullied on social media. I feel for them because as someone that's been around the traps, a 49-year-old man that's played it rough and tough, I've got to tell you that it's made it very difficult for me, very, very difficult for me when you get online and the abuse you cop started by disgusting, vile, racist commentary.
And that's where we welcome viewers in Queensland. We're listening in to a media conference with the New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro, who's just announced he is going to be stepping down.
They allow this to happen.
Aside, is there anything looming for you?
No, nothing's looming for me.
resign at a time in the future. When was that and why was that?
I think that's irrelevant. I think it's irrelevant. I was planning an exit. For all the same reasons. I just think the opportunities have come forward and I've taken it.
What do you say to the people of New South Wales that are quite unsettled by this? They don't see it as a refresh, they see it as the government's crumbling.
No, not at all. We've seen this before and we'll see it again. You know, federally we had a change of the Deputy Prime Minister recently in the leader of the National Party. Previous day we had a change of Prime Ministers. We've seen that in the past decade every day of the week, and governments get re-elected, governments continue. It's more than one person. There is a team, and I can assure the people of New South Wales, this exit doesn't change the commitment of this government, the determination of this government to continue through this pandemic and to continue serving its citizens. And for that, I'm very confident and comfortable with my decision today.
The front runner right now to win next year?
I should never take anything into account. I think Dom Perrottet, if he is Premier, and whoever leads in that, have got a tough fight in 2023, no question about it. You're talking about a fourth-term Liberal Nationals government, unheard of. A third term was historic in itself. But if anyone can do it, I can tell you under Perrottet, they'll achieve that. There's no question about it, they can. And if Chris Minns thinks he's got an easy run, I tell you what, brace yourself. You're not taking government off what would be a Perrottet government that easy. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.